Hi, I'm Brett Jennings, and for the last 12 years, I've traveled the country to meet, mentor, and mastermind with some of the brightest and best minds both inside and outside of real estate. I've taken those ideas, brought them back to our team of experts, and sold hundreds of homes per year all across Silicon Valley, and this is how we do it. Brett Jennings here with Real Estate Experts. Excited to catch up with Nathan Galloway. For those of you who aren't familiar with Nathan, Nathan, how long have you been in the business?
I've been in the business since 2014.
Cool. And just having, an amazing start to 2021 here. Just in the first 2 months of the year, you've got eight transactions between new listings, buyers pended and closed, eight deals and about $8 million in escrow, which is a huge bump up from what you've experienced previously in your career and even last year. So we want to unpack that, see what's going on. Like, on these interviews, we always kind of taking a look at what are these agents thinking and what are they doing to create these amazing results. So, but first, let's start, Nathan, a little bit about your backstory. Again, how long have you been in the business and what your trajectory was like as far as your first, year in the business? How many deals were you doing? And then as you and I talked, you kind of got stuck at a little bit of a plateau, and tell us a little bit about that.
Right. Yeah, I mean, the first year in my business was in the business in 2014 was pretty tough, as it is for most realtors in their first year. I believe I closed about 2 to 3 in my first year. And then over the course of the next 4 years after that, I was kind of at a plateau, roughly closing anywhere from, 6 to 8 transactions a year.
Got it. And then, from there, actually, we connected last year in 2020, and you made a decision that I think for many of your peers, you being a solo agent, kind of knocking out 6 to 8 deals a year, you made a decision that most agents wouldn't do, and might even catch, a sideways look from your peers, and that is that you joined a team. You actually joined my team here at Real Estate Experts, and but that did a couple things. You went, from 7 or 8 transactions in 2019 to 13 transactions in 2020, and now you're pacing currently for just doing 8 transactions in your first 2 months. You're pacing for about 40 transactions and 40 million in business this year. But I guess a couple questions would be: one, what would cause you to make the choice to go from being a solo agent to actually considering joining a team, and what has that done for your business so far?
Yeah, I think what kind of caused it was I was kind of looking more towards the future versus kind of, a yearly check-in with myself. And I was lacking a lot of the resources on what it really takes to, do the production that was, within my goal. And I wasn't hitting it. I was spread very thin, as most agents are, having to do, all the work from, doing door knocking to dropping flyers to doing administrative work, to printing, to setting appointments, to making those calls. I don't know if it's maybe the fact that I'm a single dad with 3 kids and maybe I didn't have the time there, or if, it's really hard to see how most agents have the time to do it all, because they really don't. You can't be a one-man show. And that's just the reality of it, right? For these top producers in Silicon Valley, I know now how they're able to do that. And the position I was in as a solo agent, simply put, I wasn't doing enough, right? And so that's why I went to join your team, Brett. Obviously, you're one of the top brokers here in Silicon Valley, and not to mention even in the world, top 1/10%. And so I came to learn from you how to run a team efficiently, which I am doing. That was the reason for the move. I knew it was better for the long term, in terms of how long I want to be in this business and, be a top agent here in the Valley.
Cool. So that's, you touch on a few interesting points there. And one for me, actually, that came up in my second year in the business. a lot of people don't know this, but when my very first year in the business, I did join a team. I started on a team specifically because I wanted to learn how to do a lot of deals. I wanted to know like what was the difference in mindset between somebody who was selling 5 houses a year to someone who was selling 50. And for me, you know, my background coming out of college, I worked for Tony Robbins for 2 years, and his thing was like, go find somebody who's getting the result you want and like get close to them, find out what they think, find out what they do, and if you duplicate what they think and what you do, you're going to get the same results. And so for me, I joined the team of a guy. My second year in the business, he actually left the business. I probably would have stayed with him on his team the second year, but I went from doing, you know, I did more deals being on a team with him. I did 12 million in business and 12 sales my very first year. But that positioned me to do 36 transactions my second year, which is kind of interesting, Nathan, because we look at it, you did 13 transactions last year in our first year working together. Now you're on track for about 40. So what are you thinking? Like, what's in your mindset? What are you thinking, and what are you doing differently on the daily as compared to what you were doing when, and maybe you've already spoken to that, when you were doing just like, you know, six to 7 deals a year?
Yeah.
What do you think differently? What do you, yeah.
I think what I'm doing differently is utilizing the systems that we have in place, and delegating a lot of the work. I've noticed those two things have helped me kind of take this leap, you know, so that I can do what I do best, and that's, you know, find new business, attract new business, and, you know, sell real estate. So in terms of what I'm doing differently, it comes down to systems and delegating. In terms of a mindset, I think the culture here, you know, everybody just is pushing each other. We're bouncing ideas off of each other all the time. Just everyone wants to be better. Everybody wants to improve one way or the other. And we have a lot of top producers here. And I think recently we also, I have been in a role, grateful to be in this role, to be, you know, a leader in our team mentorship group. And that's kind of put me on this trajectory of, you know, wanting to be a leader, again, having my own team eventually at some point. It's really positioned me to really understanding what each other's goals are, what's important to them, why that's important to them, and just be able to be that, you know, that accountability partner to, you know, push everyone to accomplish the goals. But yeah, I'd say those things have made a huge difference.
That's awesome. So you touched on 3 things there that I just want to unpack real quick: system,
Okay.
delegating, and accountability. Um, you know, systems. So it was interesting. My second year in the business, I joined a coaching program for some guy out of Colorado that was selling 300 houses per year. And in getting to talk with him, he was like, Brett, I'm telling him like, yeah, my top producers here, they sell like maybe 15, 20 houses a year. And he was selling 300 houses a year. And he's like, Brett, the reason most people in Silicon Valley only sell 10 to 15 houses a year is 2 reasons. One is they get complacent with their income, number 1. Number 2, he said, most agents suffer from EID, entrepreneurial idiot disease. He's like, because without the systems and the delegation, you know, they're putting out signs, flyers, lock boxes. They maybe have a transaction coordinator, but they're just, you know, that tells them, oh, you know, here's the DocuSign for this or that, but they're still babysitting that transaction across the finish line. Mm-hmm. He's like, 80% of real estate is all that work. So if you end up doing it, which is all like $25 or $30 an hour work, but if you end up doing all that work, you only have 20% of your time to go sell a lot of houses. He's like, so they're 20%, they can only sell 15 houses a year. He's like, if you delegate all that, you can go up to 60 or 70 houses as a solo producer if you're well leveraged. So you're leveraging the systems here with our what we call client care and listing management, being able to delegate that work.
Yeah, I mean, and I'll kind of speak on that again. I mean, you're bringing up listing management. You know, the administrative help that we get here, again, second to none, right? It's like, it's almost as easy as, you know, getting the listing agreement signed. And from that point, just passing it over to the administrative team so that, you know, they're doing all the work behind the scenes, paperwork.
And then just waiting until you get that call of, hey, Nathan, here's the copy for the MLS. Does this description sound good?
Correct. I mean, obviously besides, and, you know, we have options here, but obviously, in most cases, I do personally go over, the inspection reports and all that fun stuff with the client. But even having the option to have a listing manager do that for you, again, delegating,
Yeah.
it is just huge. But the administrative help that we get here is just, it's amazing. And I know firsthand, I know a lot of great solo agents out there, a lot are even friends that, aren't necessarily hitting that goal because they're kind of, thinking that they're doing what they need to do, but it's not enough. And
Yeah.
that's just the reality. It's not like, you're not going to go and sell 25 to 30 or 40 homes a year by knocking on doors or just dropping flyers. It just doesn't work like that. And so here, I mean, we have, kind of a very well-oiled machine, almost a Ferrari or Lamborghini, whatever the best oiled machine is. We have that here. We connect all the dots and it is pumping 24/7. And so that's a huge difference here.
So I know you started the year with a goal of 30 transactions.
Mhm.
You're on pace potentially for 40. What's your confidence level that you will, like, as 1 to 10, that you'll hit your original goal of 30 this year?
A 20.
Okay, awesome.
There's no doubt about it.
So,
Yeah.
so I'm excited for you, specifically because I've seen this trajectory before, right? You have a goal to build your own team. We've got another. I'll give a shout out to Nathan Jenkins, who's one of our partners here. She came onto my team. Came from KW doing 10 deals on her own. Came into the team, did 36. I like to say, she went from running an 8-minute mile to running, a 5-minute mile on the team, and learned how to do that. And we launched her with her own team. She did 50 that first year, her own team. 84 deals last year and on track for over 120 this year. I know you got the same trajectory and future ahead of you. I'm super excited. Anything you want to share in closing about, what other agents, maybe if they're not at real estate experts, one thing that they could be thinking about to take their business to the next level that you've learned over the last year?
Sure. I mean, I think accountability is a big thing. I know we've touched on that. Systems in place, make sure that here's something, that I see. It's like, I see a lot of good solo agents falling short of their goals because it's not necessarily that they want to be a transactional type of agent, but by default and just based on the amount of resources, the limited resources one person has, they fall short.
Yeah.
And so I have the mindset, going back to a mindset that, this is something that I want to do over the next 20 to 30 years, right? If not longer. Obviously, I want to get into investing and flips, and, that's another sector of real estate. But in terms of, wanting to be a true professional real estate agent, I think mindset is a big thing. So maybe just ask yourself, what am I truly doing today, that's going to make me better than I was yesterday? Having that mentality is huge. And really put yourself in a position to be able to succeed and not really count or depend on others to do something for you. I see that a lot as well. I see a lot of solo agents who kind of depend on top performing agents to help them. And, that's, to me, not really running a business. Because where would that specific business be, and, if they didn't have another realtor by their side? So again, that's something that we get trained here from all of the training that's available to us. Is you're kind of like, okay, little birdie fly, Brett Jennings sends you off, and here you go. And my confidence level with the mindset, with the accountability, with the culture, with the systems in place, administrative work here, it's absolutely, it's changed my business and really is changing my belief system in what I can accomplish in real estate.
That's the number one thing. It's all starts with mindset. 80% psychology, 20% mechanics. But you're getting it right, and you got it right. So super excited to catch up with you today. Thanks for taking the time to share, Nathan. And
Awesome.
for any of you, out there who are just checking this out, real estate experts, if you want to join our monthly mastermind, we invite you to do so. There's some links here. If you click below to the blog, you'll see, and then do invite you guys to sign up for our monthly mastermind. We'll be hosting top agent panels, interviews like this with top agents that are sharing their best secrets of success. If you are looking to grow your business and you're committed to doing 10 transactions or more per year, go ahead and book a strategy session with myself, and we'll take a look at your business. Even if we decide not to work together, I'll give you my best advice from where I sit, what you can do in your current environment to do more. And then lastly, if you are looking for a change, we are growing. We have a formal partnership with Zillow that has us kind of drowning in opportunity, and we do need more help with really good quality agents. So thanks for tuning in. Until we talk again, it's Brett Jennings and Nathan here saying, don't just be an agent, be the expert. Have a great one.
Awesome. Thank you, Brett. Bye, guys.